More, Nick. 5 more. 1. This will be tough. What's up, YouTube? I'm Dr. Mike, clearly, and guess who this is? Mr. Nick Shaw. He is a husband. He is a father. He is a fitness dad, but he also has a tiny little side job of being the CEO and founder of Renaissance Periodization. That's right, that's our whole channel. When I do bad, I'm worried about Mr. Nick Shaw firing me. So I gotta be on my best behavior. Clearly, I wore my best Walmart red sweatshirt today. Impressed?
Could do better.
Look, can't we all, always, with the boss. Nick Shaw has been dieting for 11 weeks and thinks he's lean. And soon the shirt will come off and you guys will find out. He's here, he's gonna do a photo shoot later. That's the OnlyFans stuff. And then before that, him and I are gonna catch a push session. He's just gonna jump in with me into my push session, chest, triceps. I'll talk about details in a bit. Nick, how are you feeling? You been a long road.
Tired, hungry, thirsty. We're ready to train.
Ready to train. That just about sums it up. Folks, let's get into it. All right, you scallywags. What does it even mean? Why, British? Why? First up, on deck, on set, on fleek, show out. See, I watch cheerleading documentaries. Close grip, Smith machine, bench press. Good compound pushing movement. My close grip nowadays looks like everyone's normal grip because your boy got too wide to do this shit. So you can just call it regular bench in your own head if you feel like it's not a close grip and you get upset. You want to post comments and say, that's not a close grip. You can just post that comment in your head and respond in your head with, oh, it's just medium grip. Or you can post, because you know, the algorithm loves the comments. Couple sets here, 3 sets for me. We'll see what Mr. Nick Shaw likes. After that, we move into skull crushers here, also on the Smith. And then we start supersetting the skulls towards the end with deficit push-ups. Oh, those are mighty fine, mighty fine. Let's, yeah. And this is sets of, 10 to 20 reps on this one. So let's do it. Dr. Mike, you may say, I thought you were gonna do 225 for reps on here. Why 275 for a warm-up? Because my last warm-up sometimes, I like to do more weight than I do for reps because it's a gnarly potentiator. Gets the nervous system and its peripheral counterparts in the muscle, like the Golgi tendon organ, Google that shit, to really tell you, the rest of you, like, hey, this weight, the working weight, not so heavy. Your SFR is better, your technique is better. Give it a shot, just slightly heavier. It'll work out super well. Thanks.
How close to failure do you want me to go?
You want a good pump for the photographer? So 1.
1 to 2.
Oh yeah. Two more. Beautiful. Can you turn that way and pop up on your calves? Scott, you gotta get this. It's strange.
That's a lot of steps.
Burn the fat directly off the legs. So if you're an RP super nerd, you probably already know this, but Nick just mentioned that, like, you know, he's like a CrossFitter and stuff, and he does quite a bit of running. For his last couple of weeks of this fat loss phase, he was just trying to get like crazy lean. He stopped running, and you'd think, like, what, running burns tons of calories, why'd you stop running? The insight there is that there's an SFR, stimulus to fatigue ratio, for cardio. The stimulus is how much fat burning it incurs. The fatigue is, well, how much fatigue does it concomitantly add? And the thing is, like, running is unbelievably stimulative. The raw stimulus magnitude of fat burning from running is super fucking high. However, the fatigue component, the pounding, etc., is also really high. When you get really, really, really ultra super psycho lean, sometimes running just doesn't have the best SFR compared to like just getting in a lot of steps. At the end of the day, that's one of the main reasons why organically bodybuilders have mostly trended towards incline walking and other slow modalities, low intensity steady state, because its stimulus to fatigue ratio is amazing. It does not stimulate a lot of fat burning per unit of time, but it basically hardly fatigues you at all. But you can put in lots of time, and the net SFR is still better for incline walking than something like running. Some people say running is really good for fat loss and weight loss. They're correct. But at some point, if you're really, really fatigued, the SFR might not make any more sense. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, these are a lot longer rest breaks than I'm used to, so my numbers are gonna be a little bit higher.
Sure.
There won't be as much of as a drop. So normally I train by myself, so I go a little quicker.
Yep. Yep, more. 2 more. Yeah, fuck yeah.
A couple folks were asking, like, hey, are you gonna put Nick through like a death workout like he does everyone else? And with being kind of really depleted at the end of the diet, I was like, I don't think I can really do that. I'm gonna push it pretty hard, but if I push all the way towards a death workout, could have a greater chance of injury, being really fatigued, a little dehydrated, all that stuff. So we'll work hard, but not crazy hard.
Hear that, Mike? That sounds like excuses to me.
Only we're crazy, baby. We're only crazy. We're crazy out here. We in the streets. That is how you train to crush your own skull. Been working at it. I got a lot of skull to crush, you know? You guys ever had a crush on your own skull? You look at your skull and you're like, I really don't mean to impose. What are you doing tonight? I know it's short notice. And your skull's like, yeah, let me, look, I have a lot going on right now. It's just like, it's not you. Oh my God, it's not you. My life is like, which is good, right? Because I'm so busy, but like, I'd love to reconnect. And you're like, oh, no, that's cool. Totally, for sure, I'm also busy. And you go home and you just cry. Cry. Fuck. 1, slow. Good. 2, 1 more, slow. Oh shit, fuck yeah, Nick, keep going. Fuck yeah. Oh yeah, 2 more. One more. Go. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Doesn't look like a lot of weight on there, but that Smith machine's a lot heavier than it looks, man.
Whew. If you ever come down, YouTube viewer, and train with us, this Cybex Ion Series Smith machine, I don't know, 90 pounds heavier than something completely insane. It might be 70 pounds heavier than advertised. Assuming this is a 45-pound bar, it's nuts. Look at me, I'm a freak. So skull crushers, after that, 4 sets of skulls, 2 heavy, 2 light. After the last light set of skulls, by the way, heavy is like sets of around 10, light is sets of around 15. Great SFR for those light ones after, but the raw stimulus magnitude from the heavy ones is unbelievable. Last set of the skulls, as soon as I'm done, I move right over to the deficit push-up and do as many as I can, 2 RIR. Rest about 30 seconds, and then hit another set as many as I can. Nick's gonna do the same thing. Deficit push-ups are amazing. Nick and I are strong enough that if we did them fresh, it'd be like a trillion reps. But if we're doing them after skulls, after all this pushing, holy crap. It really is an unbelievable movement. And the way the push-ups are leveraged actually is you're at the most mechanical disadvantage, super deep. And as you come up, your vector in relation to gravity decreases. So it actually gets easier, which means that it biases the heavy stretch, which is, like sports science, magical eagle came down and was like, ah! You're like, yes, eagle, I will do these sports science things. And he's like, ah! And he flies away. Let me check how many just in case I have to do in a second one. Allegedly 12. I don't know with what I'm gonna do 12. Christ. Oh boy, he's pumped. 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. 2 more. Yes. Good. On these push-ups, Nick, try to have your butt up, chest touch every single time. That's 6. Let's get to 10. This is perfect technique. Keep going. 2 more. Yes. Rest for 30 seconds. More. More, Nick. 5 more. 1. This will be tough. 2. 3. 4. Last 1. Push-up machine. Hell yeah. Oh, man. Take a quick thumbnail here. Thanks for tuning in. Great workout. Trooper to train with you again. It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's
Yeah.
been a long time.
Nick and I came up in the industry. Oh, that sounds bad already. We were personal trainers in New York City, and we were training partners then. It was really good stuff. And we were nobodies back then, and we're still nobodies now. I'm proud to retain that title. How are you feeling, Mr. Shaw?
Better now.
Got some blood in there and stuff.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Ready to go eat, man.
Yeah. So what's your first meal gonna be?
No, it's crazy, man. So we went to the grocery store last night. Really, all I got was a lot of the same foods I was carving up with, because I don't really want to eat a bunch of shit food. I just want more, basically just clean food. Just
more clean food.
Not having to be so particular. Just relax a little bit with it. And if I do that, I'll be good.
There you go. Things we tell ourselves before we blow it up 500 pounds. Folks, it's been great having Nick. Pleasure. Honor.
Thanks, man.
Privilege. Folks, YouTubers, TikTokers maybe even, unlikely. Welcome to the Renaissance Periodization channel. Can you tell I'm nervous? Here's why. I'm with my boss. This is Nick Shaw, CEO, founder of Renaissance Periodization. He's actually French, so he picked the name.
Renaissance.
Yeah, see, isn't that great? You French viewers, we have plenty of viewers in France. They'll appreciate it when you speak more French later. Folks, Nick is here visiting at the compound. Think Waco, Texas, but friendlier, less violence. Maybe both of those are false. Here's the deal. Nick is here because he has other business in the area. He never just comes to visit. That's not our relationship. I like him that much. He keeps a distance, a professional distance, you could say. He's here to train and take a few photos. He already did that because he peaked his 11-week-long diet just to try to see if he could get in pretty baller shape. I'm sure Scott, the video guy, will throw some pictures and maybe in a video too. And he did it. Nick got ultra super lean, and I have some questions for him. First question, Nick. First of all, welcome.
Thank you. No, it's good to be here, man.
Yeah. Second of all, what's your deal?
That can go many ways. Can you elaborate a bit?
Well, so first of all, why did you choose to get down? You had a Dexa a few days ago. What was it?
So I was really hoping to get down into the 5s, official Dexa. Did not end up getting there. It ended up being about 6.5% official Dexa, which is pretty much the leanest I've ever been on Dexa. But there's a couple areas that got down into the 4%. So overall, I was pretty happy. We had chatted about, we did a big, and we can talk a little bit more about this, but we had done a pretty big carb refuel the day before. Yes. So it's hard to really say how much that might have impacted the Dexa. So at the end of the day, it was awesome to have a Dexa. I had one at the beginning. I started at about 10.5, went down to 6.5. It said that I actually gained 1.5 pounds of lean tissue. So it's hard to say.
Yeah. And just a bit of a tip, guys, on the Dexa. The Dexa is the most accurate commercially available body fat analyzer. If you're looking at not commercially available, it's actually MRI. Believe it or not, you can get down to the 10 grams with MRI if you're interested in that sort of thing. It'll cost you several $1,000s and a hospital staff bribe. But Dexa, while it is the most accurate commercially available body fat analysis device, it still has a pretty gnarly error rate. If you're very, very super nerdy interested in that stuff, seek out, I believe these articles are public. If not, they're behind the Weightology paywall. James Krieger, they are public, has a really extensive analysis of the error rates of various body fat analysis devices. And it's fascinating. And it turns out that based on how you look at it, Dexa is not that super psycho accurate in the end. And it's still a rough guess. So Nick could be anywhere from 15%, I'm just kidding. Nick could be anywhere realistically from 8% to 4% body fat in reality. But since we only have instruments to assume, we could get a complete analysis of exactly what body fat Nick is by dissecting him and weighing out his parts. But Nick seems to be not a fan of that sort of putting people back together, something science has to catch up to. So at your leanest ever, I assume that the last several weeks were ultra fun.
They sucked big time.
How?
So I believe you have a video that you've done before and you talk about, is it harder if you're trying to lose weight when you're heavier, a little bit more body fat, or if you're already really lean? I think it is no doubt about it,
infinitely harder the leaner you get. And it's like an exponential curve.
Yeah.
Because I did a 6-week diet back in the fall, probably went from, I don't know, 11% down to like 7-8%. And again, I got a Dexa at the end to kind of verify that. It was like high 7s. That wasn't that bad of a cut. It was very manageable. And I've talked about it on the RP podcast. It wasn't bad.
It was just getting a little tough towards the end.
Like my step count started to really get up there, but I knew that it was done in 6 weeks and that was it.
Yeah.
This, oh man, it's a whole nother animal. And even if I would have stopped after about 8 weeks, I would have been like, man, that was tough, but it was good. But going from basically, weeks 9, 10, and 11, really pushing it's just a different animal. I think maybe it was someone like John Meadows. I remember him saying it, like, there's just no way around it. Like being that lean, you start getting down like that, sub 7 into the 6%. There's just a general level of like fatigue / suffering / misery that you just have to kind of deal with. And there's just, I don't know a way around it.
Yeah, certain low body fat, your body kind of constantly keeps you awake to try to get food. Not only do you think about food all the time, but you wake up at like 5 a.m. like this with your eyes wide open and you're like, I'm up, but you're not rested. Yeah. You're just awake. Something I don't have going on in my life, but you do, is you have children. 2 children, ages
10 and 8. So
10 and 8
they're very manageable. They're very good kids too.
They're very good kids. But nonetheless, as a father and a husband and a homeowner and a member of the esteemed member of the community, something zero of those things are true about me. Husband, technically true, but other than that, I'm not esteemed at all. How was it just balancing regular, busy dad life and getting into this unreal conditioning?
So again, it's very similar. Up until like the last few weeks, it wasn't that bad. So I was, I go to my daughter's softball on Monday, kind of hang out there a little bit.
Practice or game?
Practice. Yeah, sometimes games, but like, whatever. Like sometimes I'll have to pitch in and help a little bit.
How exciting of a sport is 8-year-old softball?
Oh, it's better than the Olympics.
Unbelievable. Please go on.
Unbelievable. Usually like twice a week, I'd help volunteer at like my son's jiu-jitsu classes. Like that was all fine until the last couple of weeks when you're just low on energy and it just, I don't know, man, there's just something about it where if you sit down, sometimes it's just hard to get up and get going. But I found that the more, if I could just kind of kept myself active and moving around a little bit, it actually was like easier. You have like just a little bit of that momentum.
Takes your mind off of the misery too. You're just doing stuff.
Yep. 100%.
Nick, I'm a businessman and a dad and all this stuff. And I'm thinking I want to get pretty damn lean. What are some tips you have for me? Maybe some do's, maybe some don'ts.
So
don't try to get this lean. Do not get this lean. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is really all about trade-offs though. So again, it sucked, but it was all voluntary. So I kind of had to remind myself of that. Like, why am I going to complain? I'm
owning the process.
I'm voluntarily doing this. We've had a lot of, shit in my life with, my wife and like that's real life, actual hard shit. Like this is all voluntary. So, again, was I perfect? No, I'm sure I was probably, a little grumpy and all that towards the end. And Lori probably say quite a bit grumpy, whatever towards the last couple of weeks. But like, that's part of it. You just have to maybe be a little bit more mindful of it. Cause I do remember competing like a decade ago and like, I was just a lot more immature. Like it was early 20s and just like selfish asshole basically. Whereas like
I
now,
didn't think you were an asshole, but geez.
I don't know. It's just being a bit more mature and just like being a bit more mindful of all this stuff now where it's like, okay, yeah, I know that I'm actually not really, angry, frustrated or whatever, like just kind of deal with it and make the right choice,
right.
Like try to do the right thing. So, I mean, do try to be more mindful of all that. I think that's a really good tip. Man, my carbs towards the end, outside of like the workout window, was nothing but fruits and veggies.
Yeah. Why?
Very filling.
Yep.
And
they digest slow, so you don't have the sugar crashes.
It's an absolute must. Absolute must. I mean, I posted some pictures on my Instagram. It'd basically be, you could get a 6-ounce little thing of raspberries. That's 10 grams of carbs. So if you have 30 or 40 grams of carbs, you can have 4 of those. It fills a giant bowl of just nothing but berries. and then you throw in some, broccoli or whatever, and your proteins. I mean, you have 2 real big bowls of food that can last you. Like, it'll help fill you up.
Yes.
Now, is it going to take away all hunger? No, of course not. But like, that makes such a huge difference. Like, compare that. The one thing I did realize, if I eat rice, forget about it.
You're just in and out.
20 minutes later, I'm like, I don't even know if I just ate a meal.
Yeah.
So like, that's just a very simple thing. Try to keep yourself busy, occupied. So this is going to be really funny. But like, I remember at the beginning of the diet, my son had, him and I were playing a Nintendo Switch, like a Zelda game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, that's an easy way to pass an hour or 2 of time, and you don't even realize it. Now, I didn't play it at the end, like when I was in the basically suffering zone. But that's something that I kind of laughed at, where I was like, that could actually be a pretty good like tip or trick, like when you're really that deep. So those are some do's. I would say the don'ts. I kind of had to really scale back a couple things. I had to scale back my jujitsu like the last month. Like, I just didn't really have the energy to do a lot of live rolling, and I didn't want to get hurt. And so like I try to train year round to be ready for Murph. Do you know what Murph is?
It's a workout in CrossFit.
Yeah, it's a CrossFit workout. You run a mile, you're wearing a bodyweight vest, you run a mile, you do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 bodyweight squats, and then you run a mile at the end. So like, that's every Memorial Day. So I want to make sure that I'm in shape for that, because last year, like, I basically got my butt kicked doing it. So I'm, once a month, I'll try to somehow do something to kind of keep ready for that. And I kind of had to back off things like that, like cardio, the last month, because I just didn't have it, man.
Just curious, why did you back off on cardio when your goal was fat loss?
So let me clarify. I backed off on higher intensity cardio. So I basically would replace it with, so instead of running a mile or something like that after lifting, because again, like, and I know this is a little bit different than kind of the main takeaways from this channel, where you're talking about like bodybuilding, purely hypertrophy. Like, I'm not trying to be a massive bodybuilder anymore. It's just not kind of my thing that I'm training for. So like, I just want to be in general shape and all that.
I just want friends. That's why I'm doing this. Not working.
Maybe.
No on.
But yeah, so I just replaced it with lower intensity cardio. So just up the step count. I mean, the last month, it was interesting because I pulled up the little app thing that I have from this tracker, and like my average was like over 15K steps, which I don't know, it might not be that high.
That's high.
Yeah, it depends. Some people be, I work such and such a job, I average 15 and 20. Like, all right. But usually I would get around like 10K. So to go from 10 to 12 would be pretty significant. Yes. And then to go from 12 up to like 14, 15 it's pretty intense.
When the fat really just melts off at that point.
Yeah. I mean, I was making a very conscious effort the last like 3 weeks. On the weekends, I have 2 rest days in a row. And, my carbs would be a little bit lower. I was definitely aiming for like 15, 16. I think the highest I got up to was like 18K steps.
Good God.
It's a lot.
Nick, before we let you go back to your family, you mentioned earlier that, this cut was voluntary, and it was hard, but it wasn't the end of the world. And you mentioned offhand that you've been through some, quote, real shit with your wife. Do you care to expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, man. She went through breast cancer in 2020. So she was going through chemo like during the pandemic and during all that stuff. Yeah. So yeah, it's like real life shit, not like,
shit you didn't choose.
Yeah, but bodybuilding's hard, don't get me wrong, but like, come on, at the end of the day, like, we choose to do it. It sucks, yeah, but it's like, it's not really something to complain about too much. Like, I don't know, hopefully I wasn't too much of a complainer to folks. I try to remind myself of that, like, why am I complaining about this? Like, I chose to do this. So but one thing I want to circle back to, so I kind of had to ask myself this question a couple times too. And you can say, well, why? Like, why do you want to do this? You're not even competing or whatever. So there's a couple reasons. I mean, you know me, like, we grew up, we wanted to be bodybuilders, like really all we wanted to do. And I kind of like made the conscious choice to trade that off, like when I had kids and RP was really taking off. So one, I actually have like a little more free time now because we have a lot of really great, awesome people that work for RP, like Scott, the video guy.
And you just ride their coattails.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been doing the last
Elon Musk,
decade.
he just sends tweets.
Yes. But no, like, that's a very real thing. Like, now I have a little bit more time. So like, I'm not working in the business so much, like I actually have a little bit more time. And so like, that's one reason why. Number two, I just wanted to kind of like, I use all of our stuff every single day.
That's right.
Like,
You're an app user.
I'm an app user. I use the male physique templates. Like I live, eat, breathe this stuff every single day. So it's been really cool to interact with everyone on Instagram. That's like, you know, they'll see the meals that I post.
Mm-hmm.
They'll see the numbers that I'm posting from the app. Like they'll see all this stuff.
So you didn't have a coach. You had the RP Diet app.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I just ran the app. Yep. So I just ran that, and I ran the male physique templates pretty much by myself.
Yo, was that your phone or mine?
That's mine.
That's really cool. Please leave that in. Was that Siri or whatever Samsung assistant?
Randomly picks up voice stuff every now and again.
Bitch, stay the fuck out of our conversation. You feel me? Who do I have to talk to about this? Who's in charge of Samsung?
I don't know.
Charlie. Does she have a name?
I don't know. Bixby or something?
Really?
Oh.
Ooh.
I never use it, so I couldn't tell you. But
Yeah. Well, she apparently wants to talk. Please go on.
Yeah. So I mean, just more free time. Like I use all this stuff myself. We're not just sitting up here talking about this shit. Like we're all about it. And you know, three. To be honest, man, I just wanted to kind of see if I still had it. And you know, it depends on what people. Not everyone would say that maybe I do. Maybe those results suck. But you know,
well, relative to the kind of shape you've been in, this is the best shape of all time for you.
I mean, very, very close. I think I was maybe similar to this in 2015. I was a little bit heavier though, but yeah, no, I mean, I'm very, very happy with the end results of this.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Nick, it's been good to chat with you. Good having you here. And Scott, the video guy, you got anything clever to say? You always talk that smack about Nick. If Nick shows up, we'll throw these hands. He's right here.
He got shredded and he made me proud. He earned all my respect.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Folks, think about it. Nick Shaw is a successful businessman, family man, esteemed in the community. What is the cause of all this? He uses the RP Diet Coach app. It's that simple. Go buy you a copy. Keep subscribing. Nick Shaw gets this wonderful lifestyle, and well, I get a Lamborghini or two every now and again, don't I?
Too. Yeah.
Yep. You want to go crash my Lamborghinis together?
I want to go eat.
These dieters, that's all they care about. Folks, thanks for tuning in. Mr. Nick Shaw, thanks for being here.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Good to be here on the YouTube channel.
Thanks. See you guys next time.